She is Jackie Greene, and she's with us again. Celebrate Recovery. Such a great organization and celebrating itself a big anniversary. Jackie, good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
Good to have you with us here today again. So, Celebrate Recovery, 5 years?
5 years.
Wow.
That is hard to imagine. It's been a blessing and, to be humbled, to be able to serve our community in that way for 5 years is really what we're celebrating. We want to come together and thank the Lord for all the opportunities, the people that's been helped and reached, and just give Him, the glory. And again, always let people know we're there and what we're about and how we can help.
Yeah. Okay, so what are you doing?
What we're doing is we are going to meet on September 16th on a Monday evening, which is our normal meeting night, and we have just invited a lot of others in to help worship. So we will have Kyle Beatty from Reach the Masses in Punxsutawney, PA. He's supported us with worship over the years. He will be coming and sharing a set of worship songs with us and helping us celebrate. And Pastor Judah Thomas, who is a great worshipful leader, has gathered some folks from here in town to also come and play a lot of worship, and then we'll be sharing testimonies and again just really sharing about our program. We've invited the whole community in. We just want folks to know what we're about because there are a lot of misnomers about what Celebrate Recovery is and who can come and have refreshments. Always have to have food and coffee.
So 6:30 Monday night.
Yes. Actually, the Chamber of Commerce is going to come and celebrate with us about 6-ish, 6:15, do a ribbon cutting, and, then right after that at 6:30, we'll gather in the building at Word of Grace and start our celebration.
All right, so for folks who don't know, where is Word of Grace Fellowship?
603 South 5th Street here in Indiana.
It's really easy to find right there.
It is. It's right on the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Word of Grace Fellowship. Celebrate Recovery, 5 years. So think back 5 years. And when the organization was just getting up and running and where it is now. And tell me about it. What's the progress been like? Yes.
Actually, I have to go back probably about 7 years because my husband and I and a group of us were doing a Bible study, and God, I knew, had led us here to Indiana, even though we only live 15 miles away, to do something very specific in Indiana. And we were praying, thought maybe it was a church plant, thought a couple different things. And when we started praying, what is an unmet need? This is what the Lord put before us, the Celebrate Recovery Ministry. I had vaguely heard about it before. No one else in our group had, so I started investigating, researching, realized what a big ministry it was going to be, time-wise and effort-wise and commitment, kept praying about it. So that was our first year, actually, 7 years ago. And then the next year, it took us a year to put together a team to train. All of the leaders have to go through the program themselves, which is about a 9-month process. So it took us a year to launch. So we were 2 years into it, honestly, before we actually opened our doors and started in the community. It's been a journey, and we have done it in a very unique way because typically it is just established in a church, and is a ministry of a church, and we are the Gap Ministry, and so we have done it by, gathering churches in the community and other community support, and really it is a community ministry, and therefore God has actually moved us around a variety of places over the last 5 years. We started at Grace United Methodist Church. We moved to the YMCA. We were at New Life Community Church in the mall, and now we're at Word of Grace. And as I look at that journey, I see how God has opened amazing doors. We've met so many people. Each place we've went, it's given us a different, vantage point and opportunity. So we're on a journey, and we just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and we're going to celebrate at this free event coming up on Monday at Word of Grace Fellowship. Now, you said there are a few misnomers about what Celebrate Recovery is, what Celebrate Recovery does.
Yes.
So let's correct those now.
Yes. Well, things that we are is a safe, confidential place with anonymity, so you can come and feel comfortable to share your most deepest hurts, habits, or hang-ups. And the biggest misnomer is in the name recovery. People associate recovery with only those dealing with drug and alcohol abuse. And recovery is recovery from any type of hurt, habit, or hang-up. So we can have addictions beyond substance abuse, such as sexual addictions, overeating, overspending, anything that really overtakes your life and you cannot function normally, anything that keeps you separated from God, absolutely. And what we have found is when we don't deal with the hurts of life, and we all have them, and we all have hurt others, so there's lots to deal with, that is when we tend to cross over into the hang-ups and the addictions. So therefore, we need to get to the root issues. So it's open for any issue. I have people constantly asking me, can I come for overeating, depression, anxiety, grief, just family relationship problems. It encompasses all of that.
Yeah, well, that's what I was specifically thinking of a couple of moments ago, was somebody who has been hurt by the loss of a loved one.
Yes.
A long-term spouse, a child, whatever that might be. Sometimes that can just overtake your life.
Yes, absolutely. And this is a 12-step program, so it's the same 12 steps that we're familiar with in any other program, but the distinction is that it's biblically based and Jesus Christ is our higher power. Mm-hmm. So while we don't counsel people and we don't fix people, we introduce people to, the places in power that they can get the help, and then we journey with them. We walk through it with them. We help them. We assist them.
Yeah. So we're talking about this event coming up Monday, but let's talk about a typical event, a typical evening with Word of Grace Fellowship.
Yes.
Or with Celebrate Recovery.
Correct. Typical evening is every Monday night, and we gather at 5:30 for a light meal. 6 o'clock starts our large group, which includes worship and a lesson from myself or one of our leaders and a testimony. And then the next hour there is group work, and men and women separate, into groups themselves that can be for, codependency. It can be for addictions. It can be for grief. A lot of women have come for divorce situations, and then we end, of course, with cafe, coffee, and dessert.
A lot of people, when dealing with addictive behavior or even something that is just interfering with their life,
yes,
they look for a breakthrough moment. But in today's society, we want the breakthrough now. We want the breakthrough the first time we walk through the door.
Right.
It's not frequently that way, is it?
It typically is not. We know with the power of the Lord, it can be at any moment. But, when I say to folks, look at your life and how many years it has taken you to get to the place where you're at, where you're really hurting and you need help. So, let's give it a little bit of time to work our way, out of that and, get to a better place. But honestly, when you said that, what I pictured is their first step through the door is a breakthrough moment. Is huge. It is huge. It is so hard for people to come that first time. And then actually to come back the second time is just as hard. So if they just would commit and make that first step.
Jackie Greene is with us today. We're talking about Celebrate Recovery, which is celebrating its 5th year anniversary of having been established here in Indiana. The event is coming up on Monday evening from 6:30 to 8 at the Word of Grace Fellowship at 603 South 5th Street in Indiana. No requirement that folks call ahead of time or anything like that. Just come any day, right?
Come any day. Never have to call ahead. It's interesting, though, Todd. I received 2 phone calls yesterday and an email this morning, inquiring about Celebrate Recovery. It's amazing how God lets people know about us. But the one lady called me from Arizona, and her daughter lives in Katanning, and she was searching online and found our program, and she's actually going to fly here to bring her daughter to our program.
Oh, good.
So, it's anyone can come. No cost, no prerequisite. It's a wonderful evening of people caring and being together and just a break from the craziness of our lives.
So will Monday's event be structured after a typical Celebrate Recovery event?
It will not. Okay. No, it'll be more of a celebration event. And there'll be some components, that you would see on a regular night, but it will not be our regular schedule.
Okay. That's okay, because it's going to be a tremendous night, and it's good the Chamber of Commerce is involved.
Yes. We've been a member of the Chamber as the Gap Ministry, and that's who provides the Celebrate Recovery, I think since we started. So they've been a wonderful support. We have a wonderful chamber here. They do a lot for our community. I also do, minister in the prison and in the jail as well. I take our materials in, and We had been in SCI Pine Grove with a gentleman for a couple years, and then he was transferred out of our area. So I've been in meetings with them myself to go in and see what I can do to bring hope to the inmates myself. And I also am with the county jail and run a class there for women.
You mentioned the lady from Arizona used the web as her way to find you.
Yes,
that's very, very important that people can find you. What are the various platforms on which they can find?
Yes,
Celebrate
absolutely. We have a page under wgfellowship.org, which would be Word of Grace's web page, and then we're on Facebook, of course, as Celebrate Recovery Indiana PA, and you can find us, on Instagram as well. Mm-hmm. And my cell phone is 724-541-4875, and a lot of people call me directly. Email me as well. But you can just Google Celebrate Recovery, and, this is a large national program, and you can just put in, like your area, and you'll get, it'll come up if you're in this area, but they're all over. We actually are helping to launch a couple other ones, one in Altoona and one at the Montgomery Church of the Brethren at Purchase Line next week as well. So, yeah, they're all over, and there's one in Homer City, and there's one in Mahaffey, and so you can find help.
You have hurts, hang-ups, and habits that need to be broken. Celebrate Recovery.
Amen.
There you go. She is Reverend Jackie Greene with us here this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Todd.
And again, the event is coming up on Monday, 6:30 to 8 p.m. Word of Grace Fellowship at 603 South 5th Street is the address. It's free. Need to emphasize that too, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM.